Hi everybody, welcome to Leaning Left. I'm David Rodriguez. If you're watching this video, you probably clicked on the little thumbnail that said Marjorie Taylor Greene, Moron or Mastermind. The answer is Moron, of course, but I wouldn't have put that up there if I didn't put it up there for a reason. So to start illustrating my point, let me show you something she posted recently. All right, she posted this on Twitter or X, whatever, and it says, God is sending America strong signs to tell us to repent. Earthquakes and eclipses and many more things to come. I pray that our country listens. Praying hands emoji. Okay. Now, she also recently posted retweeting that like, yes, she realizes that, these things happen all the time. But, she says, people of faith who believe know that this is still a sign from God. So, she's kind of a hammer looking for a nail here because she said many more things will happen. So if anything else happens, she's going to say, see, I told you things would happen if we didn't change our evil ways. Good God. Okay. So there's two possibilities here. So let me tackle the first one. The first one is that she is actually a true believer in this idea. It's impossible to know if these people believe anything they say they believe. I mean, they all say they're very Christian, but they don't actually do things in a Christian way or believe Christian things. But they say they are, so whatever. Anyway, maybe she believes that, but if so, if all these various natural occurrences are some sort of warning from God to all of us, who is she to interpret these things, right? Like, because that interpretation's coming, and I have a theory later on about what that's going to be, but how are we to know what this warning is? Are we just drinking too much orange juice? Maybe God doesn't like that. I don't know. It could be anything. Now, she, of course, will say that she knows, even though that she doesn't have a direct line to God or anything. That'll be coming. I can almost promise you that. But she specifically said that we need to repent. Our country needs to repent. Now, she doesn't say exactly what she's referring to. But I see enough of her horrible posts that I can guess it has probably something to do with trans people or just the LGBTQIA plus community in general. I think that's the most likely. Maybe she's saying because we're letting too many immigrants cross the border, even though all those immigrants also would be made by God, by her belief system, right? They would also be God's children. In the Bible, it tells us that we need to welcome the stranger. So I don't think that's actually the warning if these are warnings from God. But she very well might because she's racist, horribly racist. So that's certainly a possibility. But again, how would she know? How would she know what this warning is about at all? It doesn't really make any sense. I'm sure she'll say things anyway. Now, so here's the thing. While she is a moron, like she's at least 99% moron, you probably need to put some numbers after a decimal point there to really cover it. I do think that there could be a little bit of mastermind in here. Just a bit. I don't want to give her too much credit because she doesn't deserve it. But here's the thing about this. If she does say it's one of those groups I mentioned, and I think that's extremely likely, I don't think God is going to be mad about our economic policy. It's going to be something, one of the social issues that she disagrees with. So, it's the queer community, or it could be abortion, or somehow immigration, whatever. Those things involve groups, though, right? Obviously, the queer community, that's a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people. Like, I would say it's growing. That's not really true. It's that people are feeling more free to be who they are. So we're seeing it more than maybe we once did. Certainly more than I did growing up. And so that's freaking conservatives out. Or if it's the abortion, that's women, right? I mean, she is one, but she doesn't exactly legislate in women's interest. She doesn't champion causes that give women autonomy over themselves, right? So that's another group. Of course, immigration, that's literally anyone from anywhere else. But, especially she's bothered by brown people. Like, if someone from France comes, I feel like that's not going to bother her. Someone comes down from Canada, and of course I realized people aren't all white there, but you understand what I'm saying, is like these people from European countries and whatnot, or not Mexicans, or really, those are the groups she has an issue with. So with that being said, what is she doing here? She's saying that we need to repent because we're angering God, right? God is mad at us for, I'm assuming, one of these things. Just because I hear what she talks about way more often than I'd like to, I assume it is for one of these issues. And as I said, she's a hammer looking for a nail. She said, there will be more messages. Yeah, there will be more natural occurrences that happen. And she'll chalk that up to the same thing, right? It's God warning us. And you know, if we happen to have a few in a row, boy, that's going to blow her mind, right? But, you know, I mean, people weren't upset by the eclipse, right? People traveled to see it. But earthquakes, those are dangerous. And a lot of the incidents that likely she'll point out are going to be dangerous ones. Tornadoes, hurricanes, etc. All that stuff. And what is she doing right now? She is setting up groups to blame for this. They, whoever they are why God is angry. And while that is insane thinking, like that is like earlier than Dark Ages kind of thinking, that's what she's doing, because it's not enough for her to just peddle hatred from her own mind, right? She can't just say, like, I do not like this thing, and you shouldn't either. I mean, she does say that, don't get me wrong, but that's not that convincing to a lot of people. But if she could say, God doesn't like that, God is angry, God doesn't like those people, well, that's another thing. Because people of faith who are easily swayed, and not all of them are, by the way, I'm not saying that, but there are some obviously that are, they're going to jump on that bandwagon. And the more people that join that group, the stronger those feelings become. And right now, like, you don't need to push too hard to get a lot of people to feel that way, because they're already there. People are being more openly bigoted than I remember almost any time in my lifetime. It's horrifying. It's terrible. And I think statements like this aren't just her, you know, being a worried religious person. I think statements like this are her setting up people to become enraged. To become enraged with whoever the other ends up being. And it can be different on any day of the week. I mean, really. There's a lot of groups she doesn't like, because a lot of people aren't white Christians. So that's why I think there's a little bit of mastermind in this. I don't give her credit for knowing a lot of things, but I think she knows exactly what she's doing when she says things like this. I think she's specifically targeting certain members of society to grow enraged, to possibly become violent. And she can wave that away. She can take the blame off herself by saying, I was just saying I'm a religious person. And of course, she's not the only one. Donald Trump, really any Trumpy Republican, is kind of trying to do the same thing. Some may be true believers. Some are just manipulators. I'm going to guess most of the people who are in politics are manipulators. Donald Trump certainly is. Donald Trump isn't the slightest bit religious, I can promise you that. So yeah, while I hate to credit her with anything, I do have to credit her with a little bit of mastermind here. I think there's a concerted effort from her and others who think like her to radicalize United States citizens. And as long as people like her keep getting into office and having that keep them relevant, that manipulation, those ideas, that message are going to grow and become more and more severe. And whether you are a religious person or not, you should know that those ideas are absolute bullshit. And anyone who would think that has no place in our government. But that's what I think anyway. Let me know what you think. Do you think people who say these things actually believe that? Or do you think they are just manipulating people? Do you think she has just that tiny little bit of mastermind in her? Or is she just straight up moron? She's just babbling nonsense. I could see that being possible too. So you'll get no argument from me. But let me know in the comments. I love hearing that kind of thing. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe. Click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time I put out a video. And in the meantime, stay woke, stay vigilant, keep fighting, and remember, if you keep leaning left, you'll always be right.